There's going to be some sexy stuff talked about in this video. We're talking about the habits and the routines of six-figure, mid-six-figure, and seven-figure plus YouTubers and business owners. And if you're not doing any one of these 5 things, definitely start to incorporate it ASAP into your business and personal life and start to see the abundance, the growth, and everything that you are desiring. If you're excited about these sexy topics, go ahead and smash that like button and let's get started. The number one thing we're talking about here today is systems, or our systems. Is that grammatically correct? Systems are the lifeline, the blood of every single thing that you do in business and in your personal life. A small business, let alone a YouTube channel, cannot grow without systems in place. It's just impossible. And I just made a video, actually, you can see it right here, all about the number one tool that I use to save me 30 hours per week, and which allows me to work 10 hours per week. So I won't dive too deep into it here, but essentially, like, what is a system? We hear that term getting thrown around over the internet quite a bit lately. And let me just say that a system is something that is a repeatable assembly line between processes, people, and tools. So it's cyclical, they all work together, and that is how you're able to stop like operating everything from your head and start to leverage not only your systems but also your team members to plug into these systems and do it for you. The great thing about when you make it repeatable is that it could be done by anybody, not just you on your team. So this is the number one habit and thing incorporating into routines with 6- and 7-figure YouTubers and business owners out there are the systems. And systems kind of go hand in hand with the next point, and that is time blocking. So time blocking is a big part of your routine that you have to incorporate now. So when you time block, it means that you dedicate certain chunks of time throughout the week to just one task and focusing on one thing at a time. Because when you try to do too many things, like write a sales page, answer customer support, talk to your team about the latest video edit, and all while you're doing that, try to script your next video, it's nothing's going to get done within that however many hour period you allow it. When you time block, by science, you are making yourself work faster and focus much more harder or more laser focus on that one thing. And if you look at Parkinson's law, like, this is literally scientifically proven by so many studies. When you give yourself way less time, you're way more productive and get way more done in that little amount of time. Because basically what happens is time expands and it gets fuller when you give it more time. So that's why back in college, when you had an entire semester to write this thesis paper, you wrote it within 2 days at the end of the semester, as opposed to getting it done within, along the way, right? The way you should have been doing it. Week 4, week 5, week 16. Nope. You wait till the last 2 days before the final because you didn't have that pressure and your time expanded and your brain was like, oh, I have an entire 16 weeks not getting done. So that's the same thing you have to apply during your work week, is to give yourself lots of pressure and to time block as much as possible. So if you think something is going to take you 3 hours to do it, give yourself an hour and a half. That's it. Because when you the pressure's on, you don't have any time to scroll on Instagram, you don't have any time to focus on anything else. You're like, oh wow, I only have this amount of time, I better get to it right away. The other beautiful thing that happens when you time block and shorten your deadlines is you're able to incorporate other activities during the week for your self-mastery. Now, self-mastery is way important. It's just as important as the business activities you're doing. So self-mastery is things that you're doing for yourself in regards to your relationships, your health, your fitness, your personal development, your spiritual exercises, meditating, journaling, visualizing, whatever that is. All of those things are extremely important to self-mastery. It may be referred to nowadays as self-care, but you need all those things to help fill your cup during the week. And that is what time blocking is going to do for you. The next thing that we're talking about here today are funnels. Funnels are critical to 6- and 7-figure and beyond success. Get in the habit of not only creating the funnel. You don't need a million funnels in your business, maybe 2-3 solid funnels, that's it. Each funnel is going to have a different purpose. You'll have your lead magnet funnel, you'll have a webinar sales funnel, hopefully, and you can have other types of things like one-on-one client experience funnels, you name it, you can have it. But I highly recommend, if you don't have a webinar funnel already and you're selling a product anywhere from $500 to $1,000 and you don't have a funnel promoting it, that needs to be incorporated ASAP, because your webinar is going to be your number one 6 and 7 figure money maker. So be sure to get that webinar set up, because all these other types of funnels, like maybe you've heard of like video sales letter or like a challenge funnel, like all these things, they aren't as powerful, I promise you, as a webinar. If you want me to make a video in depth about webinars, comment webinars in the description, and I'll be sure to make a giant video breaking down the science behind webinars and how to make yours really high converting. Real quick, I wanted to share something really exciting with you. We have a free on-demand masterclass in the description, and in that masterclass, you're going to learn the 4 assets that will grow your YouTube channel and business to 6 and 7 figures without the burnout. So when you access the masterclass instantly within the next 40 minutes, you're gonna learn things like how to unlock true scalability with your YouTube channel, and why the 24/7 grind hustle mentality, workaholicism is hurting your channel and your business so much. So I invite you to check out the on-demand masterclass in the description below. The next thing that has to be unshakable within your habits and routines is, yes, that thing between your ears, like AKA known as your brain, your mindset, your beliefs. All of these are very, very powerful, and I am a strong advocate of your beliefs and your thoughts are manifesting like what's going on around you right now. The fears that are being juggled around in your brain and in your conscious mind are the things that are probably limiting you right now. You need to make sure that throughout your week, you are doing something that scares you, like that frightens you. There's probably tons of things right now that you've been avoiding, whether that's going live, whether that's doing a collaboration with somebody, whether that's asking for the sale, whether that's doing 5 sales calls, whatever thing that's scary and you're like, oh, I don't have experience with it, but I don't want to do it because I'm scared of X, Y, and Z outcome. Go do that thing. Go do that thing, because that is what's keeping you from progressing right now. So every single week, do at least one, but try to do 2 to 3 scary things that are like, because the results that you want and your next step is right on the other side of fear. I promise you, as every single time that I dive into fear, it gives me like anxiety and this crampy feeling in my stomach, but there's always a lesson learned, and there's always some type of success on the other side of fear. So definitely to strengthen your mindset, because wealth is a mindset. It requires your hardcore faith, it requires your hardcore action taking, and even if that means taking scary action every single week. Marketing strategies, funnels, all these things that we see on the internet about like marketing strategy, blah, 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 you need this and this and that. Yes. Marketing and all that is just like 10% of the equation. The other 90% is literally in here, in your mind, okay? My point is that is going to be your biggest leverage and your best friend going forward. The next critical habit of 6 and 7 figure earners are boundaries. And, you know, they have boundaries. Maybe you watching this video don't have boundaries. And let me explain what boundaries mean. Boundaries are very important with everything you do in business, with the clients, with your team, with actually your family and friends. So you have to create boundaries around a lot of things. So this looks like getting off work early and making sure that you have a hardcore stop time every single day. Boundaries look like getting to the end of your day, looking at your to-do list and seeing that you only checked off 2 things out of the 6 things and being so proud and happy with just those 2 things, and just happily like moving those other to-dos to the next day. That's it. Those are boundaries. Boundaries are what helps keep your cup full so that you have like energy and you can show up epically as yourself every single day. Boundaries are also what helps you stay intentional, what helps you stay in your zone of genius every single day, and what helps you creatively so that you have the space to, you know, do an epic script for YouTube and show up epically for your next client meeting. Boundaries are incredibly important. All right, so the next major key here is working less. This is probably extremely counterintuitive to what society has been telling you and the narrative of, you know, you work harder, hustle harder, grind, don't stop till you drop, like all these things. But I promise you, the richer 2.0 wealthy version of yourself works way less than you do right now. I promise that. When you accept and confidently agree to yourself that I am going to work less, not only does your energy change, your mindset changes, and you're like, okay, well, I'm either going to have to lean more on my existing team now or bring on new members to even outsource way more. So this gets the ball rolling with incorporating even more systems in your business and making those critical hires that are going to take things off of your plate that need to get done, but don't necessarily need to get done by you. Let me paint the picture. So many people that are hovering around the 6-figure mark or on the way to 6 figures are working so much. The thought of not working or working less is so frightening because they're like, oh, my income's going to go down if I work less. When you reframe your mindset and your belief that, wait a minute, the less I work, the more money I'll be able to produce, because working harder does not equal making more revenue. If that was the case, you would see all the richest people in the world in critical health and in the hospital because they're so tired because they're working 24 hours a day. No, instead you see them on yachts because they've figured out how to work way less and make way more. I really hope that these things are going to be a game changer within your habits and routines and achieving those next levels in business and in revenue. And hey, if you love this video, check out our case study that we have right here. Already within the last 9 days, we've doubled our subscriber count and we've tripled our view count. And I break down our exact strategy in this video right here. So definitely check it out and click. It's coming up next. Now, a lot of YouTube gurus are probably going to disagree with this strategy.
You can't keep it up at scale.
YouTube shorts don't work anymore.
But what happens after?